Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today's episode, a bit of a continuation of my previous episode where I'm talking about going down the internet rabbit hole and finding this big wealth of information about the Creamy Mami TV series. And this episode, I'm going to continue on with that and go over all the titles that I'm watching right now and kind of, filling in some of the gaps in my anime watching and that kind of stuff, and tell you some of the titles that what I'm watching and where I'm getting them from. So hopefully to help you out with some of the suggestions, and you can see where to get things and get some other suggestions. Okay, so before I begin, I remind you to go down below, click like, and click subscribe, and maybe put a comment or two about what shows you might be watching. Again, these are just suggestions that I'm kind of catching up with, and I'll go over the list with you in a little bit. But any sort of comments and that kind of stuff you put down below really does help the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to support me financially, I also have the super thanks button down below, as well as I have links for both PayPal and Patreon. To see the members that help me subscribe on that one will end up getting episodes that I've made especially for the subscribers. All right, so these subscribers have certain episodes which I can't put here on YouTube because of various blocking and all that kind of stuff that they do. So I put them onto there. Also now I've been going through and my mix, mix VHS tapes and that kind of stuff, and finding some really cool stuff that I found on those things. I'm going to put those onto the Patreon as well. So again, you might want to check that out if you want to get into that. All right, okay. So today's topic is again, what am I watching and where am I getting it from? Okay, so. Just as a continuation, as a refresher, I was basically looking at some of the old animes and that kind of stuff as I'm doing the anime countdown and as I'm doing the My Anime lists. I'm coming across all these, classic animes from the 1980s. And again, at the time I got these things, I was trading them around with different, CFO clubs, and we were, swapping, tape trading lists by the, over the mail, and making lists, to trade different tapes back and forth. And a lot of these shows I'm coming across, were obviously straight Japanese, right? So these are just recordings off of TV, the Japanese TV station. No translation. Some of the qualities are like really, really questionable. Lots of tracking issues. Some of the episodes are literally in black and white. But I still got them, and I traded all these different shows. So I kind of watched them, struggling to get past, what they are. Fortunately, a lot of the shows are pretty simple, and they weren't, some of them maybe were dialogue intensive, and some of them were really plot intensive. Legend of Galactic Heroes, things like that come to really to mind. But most of the things were very episodic and very easy to do. So I've decided to compile a Amazon sort of want list of all the sort of those type of shows, because I noticed a whole bunch of those type of shows are getting all licensed. I guess people like Discotheque and that kind of stuff are kind of really, really digging in the garbage pile of old animes and digging them up and finally getting them released and basically trying to find some last minute places to make some money, I guess. But it's good because now I can actually go and get all those old shows which I had horrible copies of and didn't understand what the heck was going on, and now I can finally find out what's going on because they finally get supplied translation. They finally remastered some of these things so that they're at least watchable. And so I'm going over some of these ones just to sort of bring me up to date and to catch me up with the stuff between the stuff that I didn't know what was going on to with the stuff that when we started translating and doing subtitles, we started knowing what we were doing. So basically I built this sort of Amazon list, and in today's episode I'm going to go through that Amazon list with you and then show you what I've found out and what I'm going to be watching in the next little bit. Okay, so without further delay, let's go to this list and let's go through it together, and I'll tell you what I've managed to find and then maybe, hopefully, you might be interested in catching some of these titles yourself. All right. Okay, so the first one we're going to work on is Space Runaway Edion. Now, Edion was one of those ones that, again, it was, I got into because it was a kind of a precursor to Gundam, right? And, of course, the writer for that is, the Genocide Tomino in the first place. So, that was one of those classics that, everyone wanted to get into. And, my general lesson, it's one of these, sort of, situations of war and space and that kind of stuff. And like many Tomino, stories, including Gundam, don't get attached to too many characters because, by the time it gets to the end of the show, they're not going to be around anymore. So, that's just sort of one of those things that you should just know before you get into watching this series. Anyway, so when I was trading this thing, again, it was, on the same complexity as a Gundam. So, I mean, I was probably a little bit confused and that kind of stuff on where things were going. There was, a sufficient number of characters and that kind of stuff. But I didn't really follow the series all that much just because it's just, it was just a little bit harder for me to get it, and especially really tough for me to get all the episodes together. So, I'm, kind of anxious to get my hands on this and watch it. Now, it was, announced and licensed back in like 2018, but getting the Blu-ray now is now out of print. They're not making anymore. Apparently, they're coming up with some sort of HD version or something, which no one knows about. And it was supposed to be streaming on High Dive, but it's no longer there anymore. So I don't know what's going on with this show, but I'm gonna have to leave it on my list. And basically, if I get the opportunity to get my hands on this one, definitely I'll have to, because this one's one to snap up. But for now, we'll leave it on the list. Okay, so I move along to the next one here, and just scroll on to the next sort of Blu-rays that we got here. That is Galactic Gail Backsinger. Okay, so again, this one that was just a little bit beyond my reach. Because it's a very early '80s anime. But I knew about it, and I had odd episodes of it. So I thought, okay, I've had the opportunity now that Discotek decided to release it. It was back in February of 2021, so it's a relatively new release. Again, I've had a little bit of problems finding the DVD Blu-ray for this thing, but hey, something will probably come out. I don't know why. Again, don't know why it's not available anywhere. So again, I'll keep it on the list, and then hopefully, they either make a reprint or something, or maybe somebody starts streaming that one. We'll see. So this is the second title that we cannot do anything with. Okay, so the next one down on the list is one of my favorites, Machine Robo, Revenge of Kronos TV series. Now again, they released some of this series, right? I think it was Central Park Media. They released like the first 4 volumes or something like that, so it's like only like half of like the first season or whatever of this thing. But now they finally released a Blu-ray which has all the episodes, and for $53, that's not too bad, I guess. But the first thing I did use is like hey, let's Google it and find out. And so it turns out that there's a site called Zorro.to has this anime, and it's got the entire series. It is totally free, and you don't even need a login to use it. So again, it's like Tubi and that kind of stuff. You can watch it without having to do anything. It's got the subtitles and everything on there. Obviously it makes money by clicking. So obviously, if you click in some weird place or whatever, it'll flip you to an ad site. So I guess it's working off of ad revenue from reference clicks and that kind of stuff. So whatever. So, but I can live with that. No big deal. It's but yeah. So the entire series is free, and definitely it has a little bit. The series has a little bit of special interest to me because, when I grew up, okay, I'm not a real big Transformers / the GoBots kind of guy, but I did remember some of that kind of stuff, and the whole thing of Starscream and Jetfire and all that kind of stuff was really, really big, when I was growing up, right? So I thought, okay, yeah, so if you're really into that kind of thing and you're into GoBots, definitely you got to check this show out. That sort of theme, Transformers, that kind of theme. really resonates with this one. Again, it's available for free, so hey, go check it out. Okay, the next title on the list is Ninja Robots Tobikage. So I mean, I remember Tobikage actually had a really good opening theme song. So that was one thing that really caught my eye. But getting episodes of this show was really kind of tough. And what really intrigued me was that the female characters. That's always one of the things that are always kind of I look to, especially in the early animes. And I liked how it was really Ixir One like. You know what I mean? I know Ixir One came in after, but of course, I think I saw Ixir One first, and then when I went into VHS trading, I came across Tobikage, and I realized, hey, that's that similar hairstyle that is drawn in Ixir One, and so I thought, I really gravitated toward that one. Again, the show itself is another one of these giant robots type of thing, but it's in the ninja Sentai type of realm, right? So that's what I thought. It's really kind of interesting. But again, when I first saw it, I only got a scattering number of episodes. I don't think I even got a full series of it. And I think even when the guys were doing the actual remastering of that kind of Tobikage, apparently they lost the audio track for this, so they actually had to crowd source the audio. It was rather kind of surprising because I think I still had quite a few tapes of the old Tobikage still around, but of course they figured it out, so there was no worry about that anyway. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. So I pulled this one up, and doing a little bit of a search, I realized that Tobikage is available on Retro Crush. Okay, so again, so you can get and watch all of the Tobikage on Retro Crush for free as well. So I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. So another classic anime that you can watch. Again, very similar theme as you may notice with a lot of these titles, because I think everyone was sort of building that same kind of. We gotta sell toys, action figures, and that kind of stuff. We'll just use the same plot, formula, if you will, and we'll just create a whole bunch of these shows to sell toys. So that was the big thing, and that's it. Transformers was probably one of the biggest things on that list of let's just make a show to sell toys thing. One big ad, as it were, and this is probably goes right up there with that list. Okay, so the next title on the list is the TV series for God Mars. Now, God Mars, wasn't a mystery title. The TV series was a little bit hard to get back in the day. Again, because it just came in that little sort of weird era where not a lot of people had the really expensive VCRs to record it when it first came out. And so, copies were kind of hard to get. But what was easier to get was the God Mars movie. So, the advantage that God Mars had is they made a movie that followed the series, as opposed to, even things like Tobikage, Machine Robo, and all those other shows previous. They didn't make this big feature movie, okay? A lot of people did have the God Mars movie, the Gurn's ambition, right? And so so that got passed around a lot, so that so people at least knew what the name was. But a few people actually got the series. So now when I saw the series being available, I said, oh, okay, cool. They actually went back and they licensed it and they got the series. And so again, I put it on my list and went on searching for options for this one. And this one's available on Tubi. Okay, so again, this is one of these things that you can watch free. You just gotta put up with the ads, and that's not a big deal. So, this is a great opportunity for me to finally, see what that movie was sort of all based upon, right? I mean, because usually what happens when you get say for example the Macross movie, it's kind of takes bits and pieces out of the TV show and kind of adds extra little pieces to it and kind of makes it into a short, concise thing that you can watch in under 2 hours, right? But really, it's this long, drawn-out series with lots of characters, lots of development, and that kind of stuff. Of course, lots of combat-driven episodes, and of course, episodes to help sell toys and stuff like that. But that's the usual thing for a lot of the animes at this particular time. But considering that you do want to pay $69.95 for a Blu-ray, or hey, it's licensed on Tubi and it's free, so it's like, why not go on there and take a look? So again, if want to see another one of these shows that I think it has a little bit more political background. Not as crazy as Legend of the Galactic Heroes or anything like that, but still something that was a little bit more than just the oh no, the planet's getting invaded by the evil guys. Let's beat them back with this this big robot thing. It's a little bit more than that kind of a show. So it's something worth watching if again it's available to you for free. So not got a little bit of time, check it out. Okay, and we roll on and go to the next one, and we come up to Magical Angel Creamy Mommy. This is the just like the previous episode I just did on how I went down the this entire list of making this anime want list, and then going down the rabbit hole of internet things when I wanted to go and buy a Cream Mammy set off of eBay, and then realized, wow, there's actually it's a 4 DVD set, and the people who are making it crowdfunded it, and and basically when they were dissolving it, they destroyed all the DVDs after they finished dissolving it to get rid of the inventory, right? So that's why disc 1 and 2 are probably easier to get, and then all of a sudden 3 and 4 become really impossible to get. So then, then I started going, well, okay, there's got to be another way to get this. So I started looking at streaming options and found out that yes, this thing is available on Tubi. Also, yes, so you can go there, you can watch this for absolutely free. You don't even have to log in. You just gotta watch the ads, and hey, we can live with that. So again, I was partially interested in this because it is a Creamy Takada artwork, so she's the one that orange road and everything, but it's just a little predecessor to that, and so it has a a very it has a kind of very Uruset sort of style of animation to it, and a little bit of that kind of a storyline to it as well, like formula wise, but for a magical, for an early magical girl type show and that kind of stuff, it is that kind of show. So again, I was curious about it. I just wanted to go through it. I might find I'm already going through large chunks of it already since the previous episode. I'm finding myself I'm kind of hitting the plus minutes thing a couple times once in a while. So because I'm finding I'm doing that. Have a look. If you want, if you're curious to see what what Kimi Takada was doing before she did Orange Road. Okay, so scroll ahead to the next one here, and this one is the Galaxy Cyclone Bragger. Now this one was a really weird one because this disc was only released again a couple of years ago, now 2018 or something like that, and it's already out of print, and there's no indication of when they're going to make more. Apparently, the company is planning to do some sort of HD version or something on Blu-ray or something. So I'm not sure what the heck is going on there. But and that was obviously 4 years ago. So I mean, what's the deal? So I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe the sales aren't doing so well. It is an old show, so that's for sure. But well, that again triggered the old. Let's dig into this a little bit more. Let's find out what the hell's going on. And of all strange things, I managed to find this archived in the Internet Archive. So the old-fashioned Wayback Machine. There's an archive of all the episodes available on the Internet Machine. It's like, okay, this is really bizarre. So you can watch the episode straight on there. And, apparently the subtitles are embedded in there, but the problem is, of course, their player doesn't handle .mkv files. So, if you use a download assist program, it usually downloads them as MP4s. Again, that destroys the subtitle track. So, for first few moments when I was doing this, I was kind of wondering, well, what the hell? It says it's subtitle, but I can't get the subtitles out. So I thought maybe it's, subtitles are embedded in the closed captions. And again, most of the players out there, doesn't play closed captions properly. So with a little bit more digging, I realized, okay, wait, they actually have download links at the bottom of the Internet archive, which allows you to download the .mkv file. And then once you get the .mkv file, then you can use your media player, VLC or whatever, put it on, play it using that. Then make sure you get your subtitles track one turned on, and then bingo, you've got subtitle versions of that. Again, it's absolutely free. They've got it on the Internet Archive. I don't know why they got it there, but it's there. And yeah, it's just another one of these classic animes that I've heard of. I never really chased after episodes of it, just because of its age. And so, it was always there, but I never got it. So, that's one of those type of things where now that it's available to me, I can go have a look at it and kind of go through it. Again, it was it's one of those again, giant robot, multiple episodes of that kind of thing. I'm not sure exactly what they done. No, that's one of those things that I'm gonna go and have a boo at, and let's see what happens, right? But yeah, this is by far one of the stranger finds I've managed to. Okay, so the next show down the list going on here is the Space Warrior Beldios. Now, again, this is similar to Guard Mars. Some people did have the Beldios movie, and again, the TV series is sufficiently old that a lot of people didn't really have lots of copies of it. And I know in certain parts of the world they kind of got it, so it was one of those type of series that was kind of dodgy. But now apparently, yeah, they got it on Blu-ray, and it was available. So again, first thing I did is I typed it up and found it was available on a couple of different sites. Tubi, Crunchyroll had it with a free trial, of course, and Pluto TV. But the strange thing, when I say that, was when I started to click for example, when I go to Tubi, it didn't play. It says content not available. So I said, oh, this is bizarre. And then I go to Crunchyroll and I type in the name, and it says it can't find it. And I'm going, that's really bizarre. And okay, I decided to go back there, and I clicked on the Pluto TV, and it says, not available on your planet. And I'm going, this is really bizarre. And then I thought, oh, wait a minute, what it probably is, it's probably region locked. Okay. Now again, just like Netflix and whatnot, Amazon Prime and that kind of stuff, they license stuff for particular countries and particular regions. Again, because I'm in Canada, not the United States, maybe there are some titles they didn't bother licensing in countries other than the United States. So this is one of those situations where you have to pull out your trusty old VPN, and to change your region so that you are now located in the United States. And then I go and try the page again, and lo and behold, it works. So yes, you can get Beldios for free. The place I decided to try it on is Pluto.tv, and if you're in the U.S., you shouldn't have a problem. But in case you are in Canada, like I am, make sure you pull out your VPN, and you'd be surprised to see how useful things are with that thing in there. So yeah, pull it out, switch your code to the US, and yes, you can get all of Beldios for free as well. So definitely, again, another one of these giant robots, these kind of shows with the some sort of political intrigue going on. Again, I watched it such a long time ago, and I only just stopped missing clips of the movie, right? So this is another one of those series I'm kind of anxious to kind of go through again, because it was just sort of a little bit before my time, and now I can actually have the opportunity to see it, actually, in color, that sort of thing. This is going to be a good experience for me to have a look at this one. So again, if you have the ability, again, it's free, so pull it out and have a look. All right, hope you found that kind of interesting. Now armed with that, you can go in and check some of these shows out. I mean, I said, a lot of them, are older shows, obviously, because that's the generation that I'm picking them out of. But when we're talking about getting a solid base of anime to sort of build on, and see where things come from and that kind of stuff. This is why I wanted to get into this sort of stuff, basically, because when I started getting into anime, and I'm seeing similarities in life in sort of art style, and the type and progression of the kind of animes. It's good to know where these shows come from and to kind of see the lineage of them, and it really does show in some of the shows. As I see particular themes and particular robots, even particular plot lines. Um, the shall we say the formula, if you will. It really kind of resonates in a lot of these shows if you at least see where they came from in the beginning, right? So again, this episode I just wanted to go over the titles. Later on, maybe when I finish them, and then now I can tell you what I thought of them and whatnot, and sort of go on from there. But this is kind of a good start. Again, I'll be getting into more of the top 30 countdowns coming up. So again, make sure you're subscribed, and we will get to one of those episodes very, very shortly. All right. So until next time, I will see you again.